Do you actually know what it means when your cat steals your seat the second you stand up? Most people laugh. They call it funny. They snap a photo and move on. But here's what nobody tells you. That moment, that small, ordinary moment, is one of the most revealing things your cat will ever do. And almost every owner gets it completely wrong. By the end of this, you'll never see it the same way again. And there's one thing your cat is doing in point 7 that most owners never realize. Something quiet, something private, something that happens the moment you walk away. Hold on to that. But first, let's start where it actually begins. 1. Your scent is their safe place. Have you ever noticed your cat doesn't just sit anywhere? They could choose the couch cushion beside yours, the armchair across the room, the floor, but they don't. They choose exactly where you were. Most people assume it's about warmth. The seat is warm, the cat wants warmth. Simple as that. But here's what's really happening. A 2019 study from the University of Lincoln found that cats form deep psychological attachments to their owner's scent, not just recognition, but genuine comfort. Your cat's nose is 14 times more sensitive than yours. To them, your scent isn't just familiar, it's regulating. It literally lowers their stress response. When you stand up, you leave behind the one thing that makes them feel completely safe. And they move straight into it. They're not stealing your seat. They're wrapping themselves in the only thing that feels like home. Think about that for a second. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be there. Just the trace of you is enough to make them feel protected. And if that's what your scent alone can do, wait until you hear what they're actually claiming in point 2. That's not comfort. That's devotion. 2. They're claiming you as theirs. Ever noticed your cat rubs their face on things right before they settle in your spot? Most people think that's just a cat being a cat. Random, instinctive, meaningless. But here's the thing. That face rub isn't random at all. It's one of the most intentional things your cat does. And when it happens on your seat, on your space, it means something specific. Cats have scent glands along their cheeks and chin. When they rub against something, they're depositing pheromones. Researchers studying feline social bonding found that cats reserve this behavior almost exclusively for things they consider safe, significant, and theirs. Not objects they're indifferent to, things they've chosen. And no, this has nothing to do with territory in the way we usually mean it. This isn't aggression. This isn't dominance. This is closer to what you do when you put a photo of someone you love on your desk. They're saying, this belongs to my world. This person belongs to my world. One owner described watching her cat spend 30 seconds rubbing his face along the back of her chair before curling into it. She thought he was just being weird. Then she realized. He did it every single time. Not sometimes, every time she got up. That's not a quirk. It only gets crazier from here. Tell us what country you're from in the comments. Drop a like and hit subscribe. That's a ritual. Here's what that means for you. Your cat isn't just sitting where you sat. They're weaving themselves into your scent, your space, your presence. They're making you a permanent part of their world in the only language they have. They're telling you, you're mine, and I want everyone and everything to know it. And if you think that's the deepest form of connection your cat expresses, point 3 is going to surprise you, because this goes further than devotion. It goes all the way to respect. That's not a love letter. That's a love language. 3. They see you as the leader. Have you ever noticed your cat doesn't take just anyone's seat? Visitors sit down, guests come and go, but your cat waits for yours, specifically yours. Not your roommate's chair, not the guest cushion. Yours. Most people assume cats don't have social hierarchies. They're independent. They don't follow rules. They don't recognize authority. That's the reputation, anyway. But here's what most people don't realize. Cats absolutely have social structures, and where they choose to rest, whose space they occupy, is deeply connected to how they see the social world around them. A 2015 study from the University of Tokyo found that cats observe and track the behavior of specific individuals they consider central to their environment. Not everyone equally, not randomly. They pay closest attention to the person they've identified as the anchor of their world, the one whose movements matter most, the one whose space carries the most meaning. That's you. When your cat takes your seat, they're not being opportunistic. They're gravitating toward the center of gravity in their life. In the wild, a cat's survival depended on understanding who the key figure in their group was. That instinct didn't disappear. It just redirected toward you. One family noticed their cat always chose the dad's recliner, never anyone else's. Even when the dad was away for days, the cat would sit there every evening, right at the time he'd usually be home, waiting, orienting toward him even in his absence. They're telling you, quote 2, if this resonates with you, share this video. Like it. It's how we reach more people who actually want to understand what their cat is really trying to say. And hold on to this idea of leadership, because in point 6, you'll find out just how closely your cat is actually watching you. The answer is unsettling, in the best possible way. They didn't choose the seat. They chose the source. 4. Your body heat stays behind. Can you honestly say you've never wondered why your cat moves so fast? You stand up. You haven't even left the room yet, and they're already there, already settled, already looking at you like they've been waiting for this exact moment. Most people land on the obvious answer: warmth. The seat is warm. Cats love warmth. Mystery solved. But here's the thing. That's only part of the story, and the smaller part at that. Yes, your cat runs warmer than you. Their body temperature sits between 100 and 102 degrees Fahrenheit. They're drawn to heat sources by ancient instinct, hardwired from thousands of years of conserving energy in the wild. A warm spot isn't just comfortable. It's survival logic built into their DNA. But researchers studying feline thermal behavior found something that changes everything. Cats consistently prefer spots that carry both residual heat and a familiar scent together. Heat alone doesn't do it. A heating pad in the corner? They might ignore it completely. Your seat, still warm from your body? They're there in seconds. It's not the warmth they're after. It's the warmth that smells like you. They're telling you, quote 3, tonight, try this. Get up from your seat and move to a different room. Don't call them. Don't look back. Just leave. Come back 60 seconds later and notice exactly where they are. What you see might genuinely change how you think about them, because what looks like comfort-seeking is actually something closer to longing. And hey, if this is making you see your cat differently right now, hit that like button and subscribe. That's how we reach more people who actually want to understand what their cat is really trying to say. They're not chasing warmth. They're chasing the feeling of you. 5. They're learning from watching. Have you ever caught your cat just staring at you? Not wanting food, not asking for anything, just watching, tracking, taking everything in. Most people assume cats are checked out, indifferent, present in body but absent in mind. They're in the room, sure, but they're not really paying attention. But here's what most people don't realize. Your cat is studying you. A 2021 study from Kyoto University found that cats closely observe their owner's behavior and can recall specific actions, not just in the moment, but over time. They track patterns. They notice sequences. They learn what you do, when you do it, and what comes next. Not because they're trained to, because they've chosen to pay attention to you. And no, this has nothing to do with food anticipation. This is deeper than that. When your cat takes your seat, part of what's happening is positional learning. They're placing themselves in your exact spot, orienting their body the way you orient yours, seeing the room from your perspective. Researchers call this observational modeling. Your cat is quite literally trying to understand your world by stepping into it. Remember earlier when we talked about your cat seeing you as the center of their world? This is what that actually looks like in practice. They don't just watch you from a distance. They move into your space to understand you better. One owner noticed her cat would sit in her desk chair every morning, facing the window, just like she did with her coffee. Same direction, same stillness, same quiet. She thought it was coincidence. It wasn't. They're telling you. Quote 4. Think about that for a second. Your cat isn't just sharing your space. They're trying to share your experience. They don't want your seat. They want to understand your world. 6. They know when you're about to leave. Ever noticed your cat moves before you do? Not after you stand up. Before, you shift your weight. You glance at the door. You take one breath differently, and they're already repositioning. Most people chalk it up to coincidence, or they joke that their cat just wants the seat warm. Funny story, move on. But here's what's really happening. Your cat has been memorizing you. Researchers studying feline sensory perception found that cats can detect micro-movements in the human body, subtle postural shifts, changes in breathing rhythm, even slight alterations in muscle tension, up to 6 seconds before a person consciously commits to an action. 6 seconds. That's not reaction. That's anticipation. That's a creature who has studied you so thoroughly they know what you're going to do before you've decided to do it. And no, this isn't some mystical ability. It's the result of paying close, devoted attention over months and years. Their hearing detects frequencies up to 64,000 hertz. Their vision tracks the smallest movements. Every sense they have is quietly, constantly tuned to you. They're telling you, I know you better than you think. I've been learning you the whole time. Remember back at the start, when I said there was something your cat does the moment you walk away that most owners never realize? This is part of it. They don't just react to your absence, they prepare for it, they feel it coming, and they move into your space to soften the distance before it even arrives. Tonight, try this. Sit completely still and then slowly shift your weight like you're about to stand. But don't. Just watch your cat. Watch what their body does in response to yours. What you notice might genuinely unsettle you in the most beautiful way. They don't wait for you to leave. They feel you leaving. That's not instinct. That's intimacy. 7. It's their purest form of trust. Have you ever watched your cat settle into your seat and noticed something in their face change? The jaw softens. The eyes go half closed. The body, which is almost always slightly coiled and ready, just releases. Most people assume that's just a cat being comfortable. Physical relaxation, nothing more. But here's what most people will never fully understand. That moment of release is one of the rarest things a cat can offer, and you'll almost never see it happen anywhere else. A cat's nervous system is wired for vigilance, always. Even in sleep, they remain partially alert. Ancient survival programming that never fully shuts off. Researchers studying feline stress responses found that a cat's cortisol levels drop measurably in spaces they associate with their primary bond, not just any familiar space. Specifically the space that carries the scent and presence of the person they trust most. In those moments, their brain releases oxytocin, the same bonding hormone humans feel when they're held by someone they love. Your seat triggers that response. You trigger that response. And here's the thing you'll probably never witness directly. In the quiet moments after you've left the room, when no one is watching, your cat presses their face deeper into the cushion. They breathe slower. Their body sinks in a way it almost never does anywhere else. They're not performing comfort. They're experiencing something closer to peace. Remember the very first thing I said, that most owners completely misread this moment? This is what I meant. It was never about the seat. It was never about the warmth or the habit or the timing. It was always about you. They can't say it. They don't have the words. They never will. But every time they sink into your seat, eyes soft, body open, guard completely down, they're saying it anyway, in the only language they have.